Welcome back, guys, to the first semi-final of tonight's Spring Open here in Rival Esports, and what a way to get off. We've got G2 Esports going up against Allegiance, and the second semi-final being brought to you by our other casters here. We'll keep you hanging on for that one just for a little bit. That's going to be Lights Out versus FlyQuest. Stacks, Lights Out got through to the semis, dude. They're making dreams come true for them.
They are, and that match took a while to fill. It turns into a DQ on the bracket. Don't have any update as to how that happened necessarily, but we do know it will be Lights Out and FlyQuest doing battle in our other semifinal. Yeah, another best of 7 that follows this one, but boy, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on this because we've got a little preview of the next season of the RLCS for sure with G2 and Allegiance. Maybe two of the hottest teams in North America doing battle here.
Yep, Kronovi, JNaps, and Rizzo facing off against Ty Not Tyler, Seabass, and Illusion. This, I don't care about the rest of the night, Stacks. This is the game for me. This is the one I've been wanting to see. I saw the bracket when it was released, and I was like, if this happens, I am going to be one happy bunny. And, well, I'm hopping about the place, my dude.
Yeah, and again, it's a best of 7 now in the semifinals. That makes it even better because, again, as you go deeper in a tournament, the series get longer and longer. Once you get to best of 7, I think at that point, that's really when you eliminate any flukes. You know, somebody doesn't catch lightning in a bottle and just, you know, play like world beaters for a couple of games and then, you know, stumble across the finish line. You have to be the best team or be the better team, I think, in most cases, to win a best of 7. And I think we're going to see a hell of a fight between G2 and Allegiance.
Yep, the ante is being upped. Now, Stacks, let's talk about this matchup, G2 versus Allegiance. For me, it's always a case, and I think for most people, it's whether JNaps is just having, you know, a normal JNaps day, whether he's popping off. But for me, it's always Kronovi is the question. If he's having a bit of a down day, the whole team feels it. But if he's having a good day, that's when they're title champions, isn't it?
It really is. I think that Kronovi is, you know, part of that. I think there are really 3 players that if you needed to put together a team and you didn't want to do it yourself, you wanted to go to somebody and say, look, I need you to put together a team that is going to be full of, you know, high-level competitors. You would either go to Cookser, you'd go to Pashi, or you'd go to Kronovi in some order or another. Because while you can argue whether or not they're the best all-around players, you can argue if they're the best mechanically and this or that. I don't think there are any better competitors than those 3, and you can add K-Dop in there as well. I think those 4 players really set the standard for everybody else to follow. And so for this matchup here, you look at Kronovi and go, yeah, G2, JNaps is, I think, generally accepted as the cog that gets everything rolling with G2, but you got to keep an eye on Kronovi because when he goes off, that's when they're really, really tough to beat.
Yeah, definitely. JNaps is that engine in the car. Kronovi's your wheels. And then Rizzo just on the back, directing his team, near enough giving them sort of like a little bit of a tip, a little bit of highlight, because he can see everything that's going on down pitch, can't he, from that third man position.
Yeah, he really can. And we've seen, you know, for a while, people wondered, you know, is Rizzo really going to be able to keep this up? You know, he does a lot of content creation. He does a lot with John Sandman and all these other guys. Can he buckle down and be, you know, the third man that this G2 team needs him to be? And I think we've seen over the past really season and a half, yes, he can be. This G2 team is as good as any other team in North America. I know what we just saw from NRG yesterday in the Northern Arena tournament was outstanding. But G2, they are still a team that is there. And on the day, I absolutely think they could return the favor, per se, to NRG.
Titans do sometimes fall. I saw G2 getting knocked down by NRG. Today on Northern Arena as well, we saw Gale Force get bracket reset and then beaten by Flipside, who, as we know, didn't even make it to RLCS LAN. So, Allegiance, if they're going to follow a streak, maybe G2's just not feeling that hot at the moment. They're not on fire. This is the time for Allegiance to get that old monkey off their shoulder. That is G2, who they, I don't think, have ever been, have they? Not on record.
It's hard
anyway.
to say. Yeah, it's hard to say ever. I'm sure if you look hard enough, maybe you can find a tournament somewhere. Maybe like an Astro tourney somewhere where it happened, but you'd really have to dig deep, I would think, to find that kind of result. But I think what we're going to see here is anything less than 6 games would be stunning for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. 6 games is roughly about where I expect it to go. With G2, I'm going to say they've got to be the crowd favorites, and there's a big reason why. They can just be absolutely stunning on that pitch. The game is underway with G2 in the blue and Allegiance in the orange.
So it'll be Seabass, and this, I'm thinking this is going to be a restart. It is. We're looking at Cronovi. I looked at it right on the opening kickoff. I'm like, I am surprised they haven't asked for a new server yet. Cronovi was way up there in triple digits, and let's just say on a USC server, he should not look like he's playing in Europe. So
is that like one of the Florida servers? Is that it? Like Southeast?
I think he got a server that was out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean or something. That was very strange. But he was the only one who had like a really high ping. I think that's what made it even stranger. So we will reset that server. We'll come back to it, and we will have the much-awaited start between Allegiance and G2. It didn't look like much was on tap there anyway. So a fresh start for both of these teams, and I think more importantly, making sure that this matchup in particular, there's not going to be any question. There's already going to be very little room for a question when you have a best-of-7 series, but we're going to know. The better team's going to win this one tonight.
Yeah, you want everyone on that sort of same even ground where they've all got a decent connection to the server. Of course, it's good that they're telling us as soon as they get on in, not, leaving it a minute, leaving it until a couple of goals and then going, it's a naff server. Right. No, tell us straight away. We can get it remade for you. And it goes to everyone there, at home, if you're taking part in these community tournaments. Definitely, from an organizer perspective, we want you to be able to play the best game you can. These guys know that, and they know the protocol by now, don't they?
Yeah, and the players are filtering back in. We'll have our restart very soon. And, as far as this matchup goes, when you look at who the favorite is and such, G2 is the favorite. Let's not make any illusions here.
Yeah, don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, Allegiance has a tough hill to climb. But what we've seen so far, we've seen a very, very good passing team that, granted, yes, they were just playing against Merlin. It's a different challenge playing against G2. But if they can keep up that level of passing, they can absolutely hang with this team. And I wonder if we are not.
No, still not good. Still, no.
Nope.
Well, the only little bit of icing on the cake here, Stacks, which, Allegiance would need, would just be the energy from chat there at home. Not only to help Allegiance along, but apparently for us to find a good server for these lads to play.
How does Cronovi end up with 132?
I don't know. I don't even have it that high.
Is the server in Canada?
Do they actually have Canadian servers? I didn't think that was a thing.
Probably not. That's what makes this even weirder. I mean, Jane Apps and Rizzo were fine. Somebody had a different colored ping, so they were probably having some kind of issue on their end. But, boy, Cronovi's the last guy I'd expect to go up there at 132. Two servers in a row. That's hey, you know what? Hey, at least we can talk about it. Anyway.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we've got the time to talk about it.
Yes.
I mean, Doggo behind me is talking about. He's just let out a little bark in his sleep. And it's just this case of everyone's. I think the problem is we're getting so antsy now. We're jittery. We want to see this game get underway, don't we? That's more the problem.
We do, yeah. I mean, every time you kind of start over, it's like, well, all right. The anticipation builds a little more. And then we're finally ready to get underway. Again, this is our first of 2 semifinals here in the Rival Esports Spring Open. The other semifinal will feature Lights Out and FlyQuest. One of the teams, FlyQuest, invited to this tournament. They haven't played a game yet. They ended up getting a DQ win in the quarterfinal round.
Got 36 ping. We're good.
Whoa. Yes, we are good. The problem is we are missing a player. We were missing Allegiance. They are here now. We got them all. Everybody looks like they have a good ping. They're ready to go. And now we can start our first semifinal, a best of 7 for a trip in the grand final. And it'll be Jnaps trying to set one up for himself. And it's sent away. Illusion trying to track this. Ty has missed this coming off the backboard. Free goal for Kronovi off the feed from Rizzo.
There's not much you can really say about this. This was just G2 making it ever so awkward for their opponents to do anything with. Just moving this ball around perfectly using that backboard, and Allegiance come out of gate. They're a little bit frazzled after these server resets.
Jnaps will take this off the kickoff. Everybody just got to graze the ball on the opening kickoff, and we're finally able to get a shot on. Was sent away. Now Seabass. Timed his flip just right at the last possible moment. Try and play this further downfield. Now to be Jnaps for Rizzo. Just a slight touch trying to get by Seabass, and he cannot. Rizzo, he took out Lucian, who had just jumped. But Allegiance right back onto it. Now Illusion, unimpeded by any physical play, gets this one a little further downfield, but now Jnaps will have it deep in the corner.
The biggest thing I'm noticing here, Stacks, is just the capability for speed between these two teams. G2 are just rocketing around this pitch, and Allegiance, they look like snails compared to their opponents.
Kronovi taking his time and got that last touch. I don't think that went anywhere near how he expected it to. Illusion looking for Ty, didn't connect. Now back the other way it goes. G2 playing kind of a slow, methodical style here. That it's not like they're flying around the field. It's just clever, measured touches, and it's enough to get around this Allegiance defense that probably wants to play more of a faster-paced game.
Yeah, Allegiance, we know they want to do that faster-paced, passing between each other's style. Like we're starting to see this from Illusion over to Seabass, but Rizzo just jumping on it, and he's going to intercept that and say, no, you're not allowed to play with this ball. That's mine.
Kronovi needs to dump this off to the corner, and he does. Jnaps is there trailing, and that will get by one. Has Illusion to beat, and Ty as well. Ty just kind of hiding around underneath. It'll be Illusion out towards Seabass. That pass worked to try and get out of the zone. Kind of the similarities you see between Allegiance and Lights Out. This goes just along the goal line. It wasn't a clever pass. It was just kind of rolling the ball along, and it worked out.
Just the defense from Allegiance there on that back line, they just seem really shaky. You can definitely see they're panicked into this first game where they're going up against G2, and they're a little bit fearful of their opponents here, Stack.
Yeah, Allegiance has a lot to worry about. Got a demo there, and it's going to lead to a goal. Seabass finally gets Allegiance on the board.
So yeah, if you want to, get in, you just got to start demoing, removing those opponents from play. And then, of course, a nice kickoff goal. That's always a taste they get at the start. Halfway in, Stacks, 2-1 in favor of G2 Esports.
Could be a game of halves. We'll see if Allegiance can keep it going. Get this game all squared up. Ty Not Tyler looking for Illusion. Rizzo is there just in time. And now back the other way it goes. Jnap's shot. That was headed to the crossbar. And Ty Not Tyler had to make sure. Now Rizzo needs to get the ceiling touch here. I don't think he had the reset, but took as long as he could and just hits the crossbar. Boy, we've seen him convert that and more difficult goals time and time again. Just barely off the mark here.
Yeah, Rizzo there had to answer the mathematical question of how to get from that wall to the goal. He showed his workings. Unfortunately, the answer just was not correct nonetheless.
Oh, Jnaps and Kronovi are both up for this. Rizzo's going to be all alone against Ty Not Tyler. The shot's high. Rebound is high. Kronovi may have blocked it. Rizzo with the save at point blank. G2 not only dodged a bullet, they dodged the whole clip and still have a 2-1 lead. Rizzo now, and that's going to be deflected away.
They're definitely looking a little bit stronger. They're starting to get up into the grills of G2. They need to do that. They can't let G2 play their game. They've got to start putting a bit of dominance onto that field, as we just saw a demo come out there.
Rizzo's got to wait back. Seabass to tie. Looking for Seabass again. And Rizzo blows the play up. The pass wasn't quite as clean as we had seen in previous matches from Allegiance. Now Kronovi, having to work in his own zone, does find Rizzo. And that's another much-needed clear for G2.
Oh, this is good up to Seabass, but Rizzo... Oh, you can see he's got some sort of crystal ball hidden in that Octane where he was just able to see what his opponent was doing and then just doesn't intercept the ball. No, he intercepts the player, removing him from play.
Seabass quickly off the wall for this. JNAPS almost fell off that ramp. He was right there on the post. Half his car was falling towards the goal, still made the save, and then Kronovi just nudges Ty away from possession, and another clear, this time pinched off the wall by Rizzo. Allegiance has the length of the field to go in only 5 seconds. Got to get the ball up and keep it there. That's not going the right way, but they do get that booming clear they needed. Kronovi's there. Aleutian's got to backtrack. It's still up there. Seabass will find the corner, but Rizzo kills it right onto the boost pad, and G2 gets the opening game.
Gets the opening game, sure, but you could say this was a game of halves. G2 winning the first half 2-0, and then Allegiance coming in, taking that second half 1-0. Allegiance stacks, they took a little bit of time to warm on up, but at the end, they were looking quite hot and on par with G2. This is definitely looking like we could go to that game 6 we won.
Yeah, it really felt like you could have flipped a coin that game. I don't think there's a whole lot between these two teams, especially the way both of them are playing. They're both putting up exceptional results. They're beating anybody who's in front of them for the most part. And when you've got teams that are playing this well, it's just a treat to watch.
It is definitely a treat to watch. We're not seeing many spectacular, very flashy goals so far. And it's, again, both these teams, they haven't played each other a little while. Don't know about scrims per se. But in a tournament situation, they're a little bit rusty of each other. So they're being respectful. They know this is the best of 7, so they don't have to, use all those tricks. Use everything in the bag straight out the gate.
It'll be Rizzo right at timeout Tyler. I think Aleutian might have had the reset off the ceiling just in case the opportunity presented itself, but it did not. Now Rizzo and Kronovi kind of stuck in an awkward spot in the corner. It's Kronovi who comes away with this, though. Out in front, and it's JNAPS with the finish. The defense from Allegiance just not there. I think there was a demo somewhere along the way. Ty actually not able to recover.
That was it. Ty did spawn at the best place to respawn on the pitch. The problem was he jumped straight away. In that situation there, you go to that front post and you just try and cover the stack.
Seabass for Aleutian, and who else but Rizzo? We talked about him seemingly having a crystal ball, and he has been right on point with just about all of his reads. Now trying to navigate the mess that's been created in front of him here. Kronovi actually left that ball for him, and it pays off for G2. Aleutian looking for Seabass, not going to find him. And instead, it's Kronovi with his mountain in the background of the goal he's shooting at, trying to slowly work his way downfield with G2.
I do always forget that there is Mount Kronovi in the background of Manfield. Like, just always forget about that. Hey, it's over there. Bye.
JNAPS now trying to get that in front. He has not. It's more possession, at least for G2. They're not doing a whole lot with it. Timeout Tyler going to give away to Aleutian, and he may have been looking for Seabass, but I think Seabass very wisely realizing he needed to wait for that. That's a clever play off the side, though. Can Ty find Seabass this time? No, he's way off to the side getting boost.
Rizzo up in the air here. I like how he's sending the ball downfield. Just got to get that little bit of extra control. He's definitely leaving it more for JNAPS and Kronovi to move that ball downfield. And he's just pulling off a great defense game so that they can do that. So it's not hurting them. Look at this. Rizzo actually, putting off a... It was such a simple shot from him because JNAPS just put it at his feet.
Yeah, that is brilliant. That's not a shot. He didn't just miss that one high. He gets up there ahead of the defense, knocks that down to the crossbar. Rizzo knows he's going there. Perfectly placed. 2-0 lead now for G2. They had a 2-0 lead in game 1. Allegiance got one back pretty quickly after that second goal. but they weren't able to get the equalizer. See what happens here. This is about the time that Allegiance scored. It was just after halftime. Tyler gives away to Rizzo. So now Seabass has to get down, and Rizzo's right there in his face. Got the delayed shot off, and Tyler just bangs one down from the post.
Yep. Definitely looking more in favor of G2. They're starting to get more up to speed. They're getting a little bit more creative, as we saw that great pass there from JNaps earlier. And you've just got to be careful with your Allegiance that you don't want G2 to sort of warm up and play their game, their stylish bit of car football. No, you want to make sure that you're being dominating. Unfortunately, Allegiance are struggling on that one.
Where did he come from? The defense. Who is that? That's Tyler. He has no idea that Rizzo is there. Nobody told him. He's just like, oh, I got this. Easy. I got it lined up. Rizzo just comes in from the back wall, reverses direction on the ball. That is outstanding stuff for Rizzo and G2. Look, Rizzo's been making shots like that since he was, go back to like the take 2 or take 3 days. He is a phenomenal player, and he's done it here again.
I just love this at the moment of, in that first game, I was saying that Rizzo was that defender, which he was. And then the second game, he's like, right, lads, I'm a bit bored of being back there. Can I come forward and, get a hat trick? Damn it, Rizzo. You're too good.
Cronovi's shot. Got it by Tyler, if not for the efforts of Seabass. But Seabass did have the clear. So now, just inside 2 minutes, Allegiance have not gotten that goal that they got in game 1. It is looking like a shutout. The way G2's playing right now, nobody's beating them. Cronovi just twirling around. Like you said, rocket ballet. Now Rizzo looking for JNaps. He found him because of course he did. Tyler needs this away. He didn't quite get it to the corner, but it's at least far enough. But right now, it just doesn't seem like Allegiance can do anything right, because every time they touch the ball, somebody from G2 is there to intercept, and it's going right back the other way. They can do no wrong.
Yeah, we're talking about, ballet and that. Let's talk about musicals, because everything Allegiance can do, G2 just seems to be able to do better. They're just one up in their opponents here, and that's not for a lack of trying from Allegiance. It's just the case of the bumping plays from G2 are so fantastic that they're able to dismantle their opponent's build-up.
It'll be Aleutian not able to connect here because guess what? Rizzo beat him to it. It's not a rerun, I swear. Seabass now. Aleutian looking for the redirect, similar to what we saw in the previous match for Allegiance. Did not work out this time. Only 30 seconds remain in at least this game, which is a foregone conclusion. Cronovi goes under 1. Now JNap's looking to take over, but Tyler will intercept. Only the one shot. It came from Aleutian. It was saved. That's it for Allegiance. And they won't get another one. That goes the other way with only 7 seconds remaining. Allegiance can't wait to get into game number 3 and just forget this game ever happened. G2 are halfway to the finals.
Yeah, that's it. The strategy you just said there, forget about this game. Going to the next one clean. It don't matter that you just got 4-0'd. The next game is completely new. Get that kickoff sorted and then get those rotations into order. The problem for Allegiance this game is that they've just not been winning those 50-50s. They've just been knocked about the pitch. Essentially, G2 have been a bunch of bullies to their opponents. And in Rocket League, that's not shunned upon, I'll tell you, at all. In real life, it may be, but here on the pitch, you've got to use everything at your disposal to win. G2 know that to the T.
10 shots for G2, only 3 of them saved. Only 4 ended up in the net. That's the kind of pressure that G2 was putting on Allegiance. That is very difficult to overcome. At least in the previous game, it was a game. That was a mauling. Let's see if Allegiance can turn things around here. Important to get off to a quick start as we get into game 3. And remember, a best of 7, not a best of 5 like the previous rounds. So they do have just a little more time. But that touch from Rizzo isn't going to help matters as it is perfectly downfield. Cronovi's got the demo. Now Cronovi may be looking for Rizzo. It did not work out. JNaps is there, and he does snipe the corner, and G2 pick up where they left off.
So looking at this, Rizzo getting that ball, and then this just lingered in the air. Why was there two players in there, not a single player going out to just even contest that ball? By the time that the defender did up in the air to contest it, they were nowhere near that ball. It was just a flip-floppy attempt. Allegiance, you've got to up your game. Yeah, they've still got to win 2 games, G2, but at this rate, they're going to look to take.
This will drop down, and Ty had that right at JNaps. He needed a little help and got it. Rizzo's going to hang back and wait for this ball to go right to him. Big, powerful flick forward. He'll follow it himself and win the challenge right into the net.
Oh, this was dirty from Rizzo. That angle and Illusion, just not enough time to get back into the fence. That almost seemed too easy for Rizzo there. G2 now up 2-0.
JNaps will race back for boost. He'll need it to deal with this. That's right at Tyler. His shot goes high. Double commit from G2, but it's not going to cost them, as Seabass had to retreat just a little bit, and it's enough of a reprieve. You can't let a team like G2 breathe on the defensive end. They were able to here. JNaps has missed this, though, and maybe getting a little too flashy. They do have a commanding lead so far in this semifinal. Seabass does get back and clears it away. G2 again back on the attack, but for how long?
Now, looking at this was nice. Oh, Allegiance getting a goal. It's been long time needed. And once again, off of those passing plays. This is the solution Allegiance needs, is those passing plays. So far, G2 has broken it down with those bumps, removing those players that they can't connect. That just means Allegiance has to outwit their opponent.
I believe 8 minutes and 56 seconds of game time between goals for Allegiance. But they are back on the board here in Game 3. It came a little earlier than it did in Game 1. More time to get that equalizer. Looking to take out Kronovi, but I could not. And now Seabass trying to run interference, but JNaps easily avoids him. This will go to the backboard, and good proactive defense from JNaps. Something that, again, you see a lot at these higher levels. They're able to get up there very quickly to the backboard. It's a very basic play for them to defend, and they do it so well.
Yeah, the backboard really outwitted their opponents back in Season 2, but now everyone and their grands near enough know what to do with that backboard. They know how to calculate it, and it's really not going to work unless you're multiply just hitting it against it time and time again, pulling out those defenders. You can't just do that quick 1-2. And you can't just leave the net with no one in it as G2 get their 3rd goal.
Yeah, again, you don't have to play perfect, but these are the mistakes you can't afford to make. Just caught up a little too far. Rizzo on his way downfield. Boy, Rizzo has had a series, hasn't he? He had a hat trick last game. He's got a pair here. And really, that's the most boring goal he's scored in this series so far. Quick answer for Allegiance? No, it's going to be set away. And now Kronovi, he's got the reset off the ceiling and did just nudge that down a little further.
Ooh,
but Tyler's all over it. Illusion coming on after the demo, but he can't get there. And G2 escape unscathed.
I was looking at that in that attack from Allegiance. Seabass pulled off. He would have been so quick onto that ball. Again, just scared there. Allegiance know if they send too many people upfield, they're just, going to get counted. But here's that where it's 3-1. They've got to start making those risks, and they've got to start getting super aggressive with 2-man plays right into their opponents. Near enough, get right into that box when the ball's coming on in every single time.
Just hit it where they ain't. That's what G2's doing right now with Allegiance. The passing plays, they don't necessarily need to be on point. Just avoid the orange cars. They've done that exceptionally well. They didn't do it here, though. Yeah, exactly. Caster's curse. Kronovi's got to bang this off the backboard. It's coming right back in from Illusion, but his shot just sails high. That's been another thing. G2, their shots have been deadly accurate. That's blocked away by Kronovi flying in. and set away again, deflected by JNaps. Boy, Allegiance have had opportunity after opportunity, and they still have not converted their second goal. They're still down to just a single goal here in Game 3, with now time ticking away. Only 45 seconds remain. They're going to be facing match point from G2 unless they equalize. That's still on the goal line, somehow kept out. G2 come up big again defensively.
Yeah, G2 are just playing defense by the book. Maybe that last one wasn't so by the book. Might be by Rizzo's book. He's coming out with a new textbook coming out this fall. But it's that case of send a player out to contest and then have that second man back in net to make sure if it gets past that first, you've got someone there to block it out. G2 have just been putting on an outstanding performance of Rocket League.
Oh, what a redirect run. It's Rizzo who steals it at the end. Give this one to Kronovi, though, with this great angle.
That was an insane angle, and yeah, Rizzo may have stolen it, but he's trying to put on a case that this isn't the Spring Open. No. This is the Rizzo Open, sponsored by Rizzo for Rizzo, and it's all about Rizzo, it seems.
Dylan's got a pair of hat tricks in a row. And a 3-0 lead now for G2. One win away from getting into the finals.
Yep, Ty a little bit frustrated. Probably just restarting this game. He'll be back on in, no doubt. This is just... We was expecting a 6-game series because the leaders were looking so good. And G2, they've been a little bit, wishy-washy recently. And coming into this game, they're just looking like the G2 that has been dominating everything under the sun in the most recent months.
As we get ready for our potentially final game of this best of 7, and don't have Ty back by the look of things. So for Allegiance now, you've had a couple of close games. You had that one that you'd like to think, okay, this didn't happen. It's fine. But, boy, you are up against a team where everything you do, they've got an answer for. How do they overcome that? How deep into their bag of tricks do they have to dig to find something to get the upper hand on G2?
Now, I've got one answer here, which I can only think of, is play old school NRG. Keep that player, namely Jacob at the time, downfield, ready to cherry pick everything, get those passes down there. Ty Not Tyler or Seabass, preferably Ty Not Tyler, because his defense has not been the most stellar today. So if that's where he's weakest, make sure to put him where he is strongest. And just near enough, have him down there, stealing that midfield boost, bumping those defenders, bumping that second man, and just try and be an absolute nuisance and make it work.
It is Ty Not Tyler who gets the first lead for Allegiance in this semifinal. Yes, these guys are human. Not sure if JNaps actually got a piece of that and Ty just dunked it through, but it will work out. 27 seconds in, G2 finally find themselves trailing in a game here. Let's see how they respond.
Chat, Allegiance needs your energy. They've started the groundwork, but if they're going to do a reverse sweep, 4 games in a row, they're going to need all of your energy. Ty Not Tyler coming through with the second goal after that attack essentially onto the goalie, making Kronovi just have to move.
Yeah, Kronovi, I don't think Seabass necessarily made a move, but what he did do was go up and make sure there was no way Kronovi could make his way back into the play, just creating a little chaos in front. That's what Allegiance has resorted to here, and now they get another quick hitter. Boy, a team that hasn't scored more than a goal in a game so far, they've got 3 in the first minute.
Yeah, it's almost like the Allegiance team have just got their bigger brothers onto the controllers. You used to do that as a kid, you're like, losing a couple of games, you're like, take over and just absolutely smash this noob. And they are doing that 3-0 within the first minute. The only other option, the only other sort of retort G2 can do is outshoot their opponents, and well, tons of goals. I'm not going to turn down here, stat.
7 shots officially from Allegiance. G2 looking for their first, and Seabass there to make sure they don't get it. Kronovi looking for a cheeky redirect, doesn't find it. Now Rizzo. He got that around 1, but here goes Ty yet again. And if you're G2 right now, the way Tyler's playing, that's the last guy you want to see on possession.
Is it just put him downfield and get him shooting at goal, and he's going to get you results. Just 30 seconds down without any goals. G2 starting to get their defense in order.
Oh, that's going to miss. And now JNaps not on target, and Seabass is there with all of his boost expended. He does get the corner. Now looking for Illusion, but Illusion was right there next to him. Not exactly where they wanted him. And now Ty waiting, just kind of shadowing the play. It'll be Rizzo to clear it all the way downfield, and Seabass had rotated back.
So that's just saw it in chat there. Did G2 go keyboard mouse for the start of game 4? And Kronovic was taught in there, if I am using, keyboard or mouse, I can still score a goal.
Yeah, that unfortunate touch there, it looked like it was either Seabass or Illusion there. Ty was ready to maybe send that back to the corner, but it got kicked out in front. Easy free goal for Kronovi, and it gets G2 on the board. So they've been given kind of a gift to get themselves started in game number 4. They still have a chance to close out Allegiance if they can erase this, what was a 3-0 deficit. Tyler against JNaps. It's going to be left for Illusion. JNaps needs some boost. He's only got about 30 to work with. Seabass going to bring another one back in, but they didn't get anything towards the net. I think they had a real opportunity with G2 low on boost, and they didn't take advantage of it. Maybe now they can. It's Rizzo against Ty, and it is set away downfield.
And the problem is here, Allegiance putting on all that speed are using up a lot of boost themselves, so they've got to keep stealing this boost away from their opponents, which in the long haul is hard to do that.
It'll be JNaps now, and he finds Kronovi. Perfectly placed on that pass, and then just pinned right against the corner wall by Ty. We talk about teams trying to keep that ball in the corner, so it's a tougher angle for the offense. Can't do it any better than that. Double demo between JNaps and Illusion, and it's Kronovi. Now it's just the bombs bursting in air all over the field, explosion after explosion. This gets through from Kronovi. He then gets set for a ride, but watch out, he could still be lurking, and he is. Seabass not able to clear, and Tyler does finally have it out of harm's way for the moment. That's over the top, and Illusion has this away. Boy, for a team that went down 3-0, G2, they look like a much different team here in the last 2 minutes, trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, this has been one feisty game so far. Demos galore, goals been denied there, but we've seen a lot of them. 4, in fact. I'm expecting there to be a 5th, but from which side? Stacks, we'll have to keep watching to find out.
Down to 45 seconds. Allegiance trying to stay alive in the Spring Open. They need this game and a whole lot more. Seabass looking to kill a little more time, looking for Illusion. He gets taken out, but Tyler not caught being a spectator, in the right place at the right time. Pops over Rizzo, but there is JNaps there to back up the play. Still 20 seconds. Still a chance for G2 to get back into this. It's Rizzo looking to center here. They need a goal right about now, and that ball never reaches Kronovi. They'll have to try again with 10 seconds. And another clear from Illusion. Not quite out of the zone, but they've wasted enough time. Allegiance scores 3 times in the first minute. They get nothing else. They didn't need it. They're still alive against G2 here in the semis.
Yeah, ball hits the ground and Allegiance is declared winner of game number 4. The reverse sweep is on for them. And Stacks, just looking back at that game, this wasn't like a case of G2 doing bad. The defense was fine. The problem was Allegiance was just on attack after attack after attack. A little bit of aggression, a little bit of offense, and then back onto the attack. These lads weren't going to let G2 have their way, and this is how they have to play. It only took them 4 games to figure it out.
Yeah, and G2, they really looked stunned in that first minute. By the time we got out of the first minute, the shots were 7-0. The score was 3-0. G2 did not have an answer for just this blitz from Tyler. and then Seabass adding one as well. It was just a much different team. G2 is going to look at that game kind of like Allegiance looked at the second one. All right, that happened. Let's move on. Now they have another chance to close this out. Allegiance still has a long road to travel, but that is a huge, huge win for them, of course.
Yeah, let's hope that they've got those flight miles stocked on up so they can spend them here. Allegiance versus G2. If you're just tuning in, it is 3-1 in games in favor of G2. They've just got to win one more to get themselves on the plane to the finals. Allegiance, the only one that could stop them getting there. And this is an uphill battle for them. One they're willing to take.
It's going to be set off the backboard by Kronovi. JNaps had turned away. I think he assumed there was going to be a clear. There was not. That's a missed opportunity for G2 there. But now Rizzo. He's really been the catalyst for G2. Back-to-back hat tricks officially. Did steal one at the end that Kronovi had basically scored of game 3. Now Kronovi's going to get that back to Rizzo. Great read by Ty Tyler, but it's going to go just wide. So JNaps now with a full tank of boost and a powerful flick. He may have this himself, and it's Seabass who clears it away.
Once again, very scrappy in this game. Illusion going up as a double commit there. They can't be doing this. Tyler trying to get a goal of his own. Just lots of aggression needed from Allegiance once again. And G2 going to try and sort of diffuse it with demos.
That's going to be killed right there at the wall. Ty and Rizzo, boy, 2 challenges basically won by the ball itself. Didn't go anywhere. Now JNaps. Does he have the delayed flip? He did, but not able to time it up. Kronovi does find the angle. Boy, he can score. We've seen him score from difficult angles. This one's easy by his standards.
When Kronovi is needed most, he comes on in from such an incredible angle, so deep into that corner, being able to get the first goal of the game. 3 minutes, 22 remaining, and G2 Esports want to make Game 5 theirs.
That's on target as well, this time from Illusion. It's JNaps who makes the save. So remember, all those goals from Allegiance, they came very early on in Game 4. They rode that 3-0 lead to an eventual victory. They don't convert here. Now they find themselves trailing again. They have not been able to successfully erase a deficit yet. Every time they've fallen down, they never brought it back level. Rizzo now. Looking for Kronovi. Instead finds Ty. That's going to find Seabass, and it gets through. What a play by Allegiance.
This was absolutely disgusting and beautiful at the same time. How Seabass got that hit to be able to send that down into net is well beyond my knowledge, well beyond anything I can think of as Allegiance tie up the game. They're in for this for the long haul.
Now Rizzo, not able to get by Ty. Does get a bump on Seabass though, does Rizzo. So he's still lurking around downfield and finally gets that all-important midfield boost on his way back. He may need some of it as well, as he's able to just kill off that play from Illusion and Seabass. Now Kronovi has JNaps over there, intercepted by Illusion, and this play may well work out for Allegiance, still in front. JNaps just very casually plays it over to Kronovi. No panic at all defensively from G2. We've seen them multiple times with that ball right along the goal line, and there's no panic whatsoever.
Yeah, and very clever there from Allegiance, not to get greedy, not to keep sending players out. They retreated to the end, knowing that if they kept on trying at it, they could overcommit, and then it would be an easy goal for G2. Allegiance are being very, very careful in their decision-making here, and it is paying off.
Tyler, they did get a bump on, I believe, Rizzo, who was just kind of lurking around, waiting for a play for G2. Was not able to make it happen. Now Seabass, that'll kiss the ceiling. And he's got this as well. Just got a piece of that ball right before JNaps took him out of the play. Now Illusion up against Kronovi, goes underneath, and JNaps is right there. Just good bracket defense there from G2. They'll let you beat one, but there's always a second there to back up the play.
a lot of patience there as well from G2. You could see they're waiting for everyone to get boost and then charge downfield. Didn't quite work as they wanted, but they're just waiting for this. They know it's only one goal that they need to win this.
Lucian now over JNaps. Working on Rizzo now, but could not get by him. Was looking to pop it over. Rizzo had a good read. All knotted up. 40 seconds remain. It feels like this game really has just breezed along. That happens when you have a low-scoring game. So Lucian has to give way to Rizzo, but this is a gift for Ty Not Tyler. Not able to land correctly, but he still got the read! Oh, what a shot from Ty! Making something out of nothing!
Yeah, Ty Not Tyler has put in the work today. And there, the block shot, JNaps definitely not expecting it, not being able to get back to goal in time. Allegiance are in the lead. They've just got to hold it for 27 seconds.
Ty Not Tyler literally just got blood from a stone. Now Rizzo with 20 seconds left. We talk about this G2 team not panicking. Time is not on their side. What can they do here? They got it in front, but Seabass is there to disrupt. So too was Ty. This will kick down in front with 7 to go. JNaps wins it to the side. Rizzo's got to get there, and he went up too high. Great clear from Seabass. One last chance for G2 to try and draw level in Game 5, and they won't. And Allegiance is still alive, going to Game 6.
Allegiance don't know how they do it. Don't know how they actually have the danglies to be able to hold off here, because this has got to be so much mental stress on them to be able to keep going up against G2 when they're on the back foot. 3-2 still in favor of G2, but Allegiance, that glimmer of hope, that light at the end of the tunnel is starting to get a little bit brighter game by game stacks.
I get into a lobby with Corelli and I think, oh my goodness, we're in for a tough battle here. I can't imagine what it's like seeing, G2 on the other side of the field, being in this position right now for Allegiance, needing to win 4, having to scratch and claw, knowing that you're getting their best shot every time down the field, and still managing to match them punch for punch. Going now into Game 6. Can Allegiance keep it going? Another 5 minutes on the clock and we're underway. Reverse sweep still an option for Allegiance in the semifinals. Seabass coming on. He's not going to get there, as Kronovi does instead. And Lucian comes up empty. Kind of an auspicious start for Allegiance, at least in the early seconds. Another chance from Seabass, and Rizzo just clocks it away from the corner.
Well, earlier on you were talking about the Jackie Chan defense of Allegiance. Well, G2 is coming on in Bruce Lee-like. This is really a battle of just martial arts in Rocket League. G2 trying everything they can. Kronovi there not being able to do it, but luckily he has got a wingman in Rizzo.
Yeah, that's a great play set up by Kronovi there. Just, he knows he's going to have that ball challenged away. Just positions himself to make sure it doesn't get outside the post. And then it's a free goal after the double commit. Unlucky for Allegiance. They find themselves trailing very early now in Game 6. Another must win, but they've been here before. Here's Seabass. He's got Ty waiting in the midfield. That shot goes behind Rizzo, and it's Kronovi who comes down from the heavens and makes a big-time save. But he doesn't have any boost here and can't keep the play alive.
Nope, and it's only one goal. G2 are not out of the woods yet. Allegiance, we just saw it. They're able to come back 2-1. G2 still need another couple if they want to take game number 6. Stacks, this is where we called it. Well, it could be over here. Allegiance, they've got to prove us wrong.
I mean, after Game 3, I remember before the match, I would have been surprised to see anything less than 6. After Game 3, I would have been surprised to see Game 5. Been a big-time answer from Allegiance, but now they find themselves behind the 8 ball yet again, and Kronovi coming on. That's going to be bombed away by Seabass. Just a little physics bomb on its way downfield.
Yeah, massively needed, and there's Kronovi. He bottled it there, Stacks. He couldn't find the net.
Well, what happened there was Seabass had just recovered from a demo. I'm not sure Kronovi expected that Seabass was going to get there, so he just kind of flung it downfield. He just really kind of lollipopped it over there, and Well, Seabass able to get back. So G2 do miss an opportunity. Keep that in mind. If Allegiance are able to answer, this is still on the goal line, and Illusion couldn't clear it away. He had a little more time than he thought he did.
Now, I did just shout out no there. It's not because I'm biased. It's just because I like a good underdog story. Stacks, I want this to go the whole way to the 7. I don't care who really wins at the end of the day, but I want that game 7 because I want Allegiance to keep showing us that they can go up head-to-head against some of the best in America.
Well, it's Illusion now. He may have to play this himself. No, it's left for Seabass. Nobody gets there. And now here it goes the other way from G2. Cronovi might have been trying to get the tires on the underside of that ball there, maybe trying to get the reset. He could not. And now it's just, well, when it rains, it pours, and it's a torrential downpour for Allegiance right now. This time, JNAPS forces one through.
Yeah, G2 definitely seem to have found a way. Allegiance, they're winning from pure pressure onto their opponents, so that's how they're able to eke out the wins. G2 have suddenly gone, wait, pressure gets you to win games? Okay, let's have a little try of that. And here, they're currently leading 7 shots on target, 3 of them making goals. And Allegiance are just stuck with 4. It's still not a bad number to have 4 shots here, about halfway in. But they've got to put more on.
Well, you need to get a little lucky to win games like this. And that time, that actually goes off of Rizzo. Just a little deflection there. Unfortunate for G2, but it's a huge break for Allegiance. They've kind of given G2, I think you could argue, at least one gimme in this game. G2 returns the favor, and now there's still 2 minutes left. And a chance now for Seabass. He's got Illusion waiting off the demo, and Seabass has him back within 1.
Oh, this was just perfect from everyone. So Seabass getting that pinch and then being able to follow up. But let's not just forget about Ty Not Tyler getting that demo in goal, creating the opportunity. Allegiance are looking like they could tie this up. 1 minute 52 remains for G2 to stop that.
3-0 is the point where you start to go, you don't see really many comebacks from this at all, especially against a team like G2. We're 1 goal away from seeing it. Rizzo now, he's going to get to this just ahead of Ty, and it almost past Seabass as well. But he's at least able to disrupt the play with 90 seconds left. G2, they've given up a couple in a row, especially that one that went in off of Rizzo. He's over Rizzo. Illusion, that's almost on target and hit the corner. They were that close to an equalizer. Nobody's home, and G2 are back up by 2.
Everything was put into that attack. It didn't quite work out. It was just mere millimeters away, and G2 being able to counter 4-2 now. 1 minute 13 remaining. It is still so doable for Allegiance, but this hill is still in front of them. They've still got to keep climbing Mount Cronovi.
Ty Tyler just bombs this down to the corner. That got away from Rizzo. He just does read this. He'll get a savior badge. What hasn't he done? He'll be selling popcorn in the lobby between series here. Cronovi now looking for JNAPS, and he found him. Rizzo's downfield, but they won't connect. 47 seconds remain. Illusion now. Just taking too long. This could be the killing blow. It's going to be sent away instead. G2, they realize they don't really have to force the issue. They may have a chance here, and they do with 33 to go.
So here, JNAPS is going to be kicking himself. He pre-jumped so early. And then a 2v1 situation, Seabass just goes on in like a pit bull, trying to phase out his opponents, and Illusion just knows that bottom right corner is all his. 33 seconds, 1 goal separating these 2 teams.
Ties up for this quick. It will get to the backboard. Rizzo's got to have a big clear, and he does. Can he follow it through as well? Yes, he does. Illusion couldn't clear it back. This will get in front. JNAPS is there, and it's only going to fall towards Rizzo. 15 to go. Allegiance down to their last gasp here in Game 6. Need a goal or their spring open is over. 7 seconds remain. Need to get this in front. JNAP says no, and it doesn't come off the wall. It just rode along the side. Illusion's got to do everything he can unintentional double touch, but it may be enough. It's Seabass. Oh, he didn't get it cleanly. And G2 survive in game 6, and they finally take down Allegiance.
Well, it seems like that unclean hit was what hurt Allegiance in the end, because that backboard play in their own half was actually so good there by, do you think it was Illusion, wasn't it? And
yes,
it all came down to the wire there. G2, though, knowing their veterancy, were able to take it here in game 6, just like we predicted, Stacks, but it still feels a little bit bittersweet, don't it? Like,
that was a phenomenal effort, though, from Allegiance. Again, you go down 3-0 and you just think, well, it's going to be an early night, and it was not. It was a nice battle in games 4 and 5 and in 6 coming down the stretch. Allegiance almost brought it all the way back to game 7, but they come up short, and it's now G2 waiting for the winner of Lights Out and FlyQuest. And just because we like you, Twitch chat, we didn't let them start. They waited all this time. There's another best of 7 semifinal coming up.
Yep, and that best of 7 and the finals are not going to be casted by us, unfortunately, Stats. It's going to be casted by Umthink and Samuel. Those two lads have got trustworthy hands, and we're going to be leaving you guys at home in them. Hope you enjoyed it. Me and Stacks, I'm sure, buddy, we have enjoyed every single moment of this evening casting for everyone, right?
Oh, absolutely. This has been great to see those first 2 matches. Very, very evenly matched teams for the most part, going head-to-head. Then we get that match with Allegiance and G2. It only gets better as you go through a tournament. This is going to be an exciting run to the finish.
Right, guys, we got to head on over to a break to not only get that next game set up, but get the new casters on in. Don't go anywhere. I'm just quickly having a look at what we've got to flog on out. This time it's actually Discord and Twitter. So, of course, make sure to go join Discord. I'll do half the work. I'll quickly go put the link there in chat. And, well, Twitter is at Rival Esports. I think GG on the end. So make sure you go check that out. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the evening. Stay awesome. Me and Stacks will see you next time.